Broward Prep Gym at the North Broward Preparatory Schools. If you thought we were done last night, you are most certainly mistaken. It's the North Broward Prep Eagles and the St. John Paul II Eagles back at you again from the North Broward Prep Gym. Ben Curtis here. Very glad to be with you. North Broward lost in 4 sets last night to the Coral Springs Christian Crusaders, but a new day and a new opponent. And they find it in the St. John Paul II Eagles as North Broward tries to become the first team this year to knock off the Eagles within the district. St. John Paul II is 5-0 in that category so far this year. Maria Estevez should be in fine form. Austin Club head coach of the Eagles told me earlier on that after resting her for most of last night in that 4-set loss to the Crusaders, she should be back in full swing tonight, which is definitely a good sign for North Broward. More good stuff happening here on the broadcast. North Broward Prep Athletic Director Mike Ostrowski to join us in between the first and second sets. So stay with us most certainly for that. Very glad that you are with us here from North Broward Prep as Brainwash Sports Twitch TV brings you North Broward Prep athletics all season long. And we look like we are just about ready to get set. Still a bit of music playing here as we set the mood. And we are just about ready to get started. It's going to be number 21, Julia Sperdato, to begin the game for St. John Paul II. Eagles of St. John Paul Academy are in the visiting gray on the near side, North Broward on the far side, as Taylor Lambert gets the first points of the game. The kill was deflected by a St. John Academy Eagle, but it falls for a North Broward point. The first one of the game, they have an early 1-0 lead here. And so now it will be North Broward's turn to inbound. Caitlin White, the libero tonight, for North Broward, as that one falls out of bounds after the dig attempt by St. John Paul II. Went wide right, so it's 2-0. Eagles have an early lead. White wearing the libero, white shirt. How coincidental. Sperdato setting it up for St. John Paul, but dug out well there by Estevez. Now White setting up for Taylor Lambert on the right side. She gets that one to go, bounces around, and stays in bounds. Estevez sets it up far side for Lambert. Tries a bit of finesse, catching St. John Paul too deep, but it doesn't work. North Broward's going to get a free ball out of it, though. White setting up for Estevez on the right side for Jillian Gaeta. She sends that one long, though. And the St. John Paul II Eagles have the first point of the night for them. Early substitution now as Alicia Metzger is going to come on. And she will serve it for the Eagles of St. John Paul II Academy. 7-6 coming into this game. And that one hits one of her teammates. She hit Alyssa Bielakis. Appears to be okay, everybody, but it's a service error. 3-1 North Broward. And so it will be Lambert to serve it now. Lambert serve is a good one, controlled by Bielakis. Now over on the right side. Maria Estevez tries to dig it, hits the stanchion of the old basketball hoop and falls to the ground. It's the St. John Paul II point. So Erin Donahue to serve it now for St. John Paul, and Donahue's serve is a good one. Controlled though. Now Estevez setting up far side for Jillian Gaeta, and she catches the St. John Paul back line too deep, and it's 4-2. We apologize for the video being a couple seconds behind the audio. So visualize it, and then you will see it. Your own little instant replay machine, as I like to say here on the program. Jillian Gaeta now to serve it. And it's a good one. Donahue can't control it, and it's a service ace for Gaeta. She'll serve it again. You win the point, you serve again. First to 25 points wins you the set. 3 sets wins you the match. We need a 5th set tiebreaker that will be 15. Gaeta serve controlled by Sperdato. Now set up far side for St. John Paul, but North Broward's going to get a free ball after the poor set. Now Estevez setting it up far side for Mendoza. That one goes long, though. Should check that was Johanna Manfredo, the new addition to the Eagle team. So it'll be a St. John Paul II point. 5-3 here, still very early on in set number 1. And Stephanie Ferrer for Coral Springs Charter serves at Estevez. Tries to catch St. John Paul II looking. on the second hit, and now St. John Paul hits it into the net. So it'll be a North Broward point. They're doubling up on the Eagles of St. John Paul II early on, 6-3 here. Roberta Mendez, the junior, also new addition for North Broward to serve it now. And that's a good one. Ferrer lets it go, and it's a service ace for North Broward. Stephanie Ferrer on the right side, watched it all the way, decided to let go, thinking it would be out. Ball didn't bounce her way, bounced away of North Broward. So it's 7-3 North Broward early on. That serve's going to be controlled by St. John Paul. Goes up into the netting. They still can control it and get up and over. North Broward has a free ball though. Estevez setting it up for Wilson. Check that, Sabrina Resnick, but she hits it out of bounds. So 7-4 now as St. John Paul gets one back. Sabrina Resnick wearing number 16 today instead of her usual 4. A substitution here as Daniela Hoganson comes on for the Eagles of St. John Paul. And so Brooke Salvato for St. John Paul II as it's set up for North Broward, and they get a kill out of it. Sorry, I was a little bit more concerned with making sure that kill didn't hit my computer. It was headed straight my way. But no harm, no foul, and a North Broward point. All three good things. So Maria Estevez's serve now is a good one, controlled though by St. John Paul II. And a running start from Bray McHenry. Doesn't get anything to go as she hits it into the net. 9-4 Eagles of North Broward. Sorry, that was Bray McNamara pronunciation check there. Estevez to serve it again. Controlled by St. John Paul. Now set up far side for McNamara again, and again she hits it into the net with a running start. So deja vu there for the Eagles of St. John Paul II, and it works out well in favor of the Eagles from North Broward. So it'll be Estevez to serve it again as they have an early 10-4 lead. Now set up for Ferrer, and she will just get it over. White now setting up for Estevez. Sends the far side, no look for Lambert, but dug out well by St. John Paul II. And the Eagles from St. John Paul can get it over, but Lambert has some trouble with it. So it's a St. John Paul II point, 10-5 now, as they pull within 5 of North Broward. St. John Paul II now to serve it. And they do. It's a good one, though, controlled by North Broward. Estevez setting up right side for Lambert. And Lambert gets it over, but the dig from St. John Paul II. Now blocked by 2 Eagles from North Broward at the line. Some trouble with it for Estevez, but she's able to get it. And Ferrer just gets it over. Now it's set up for Stephanie Ferrer, and she hits it long for St. John Paul II. It's a North Broward point. So the good play there earns North Broward a point and a serve. It will be Johanna Manfredo now for North Broward. And it's a good one on the left side, but it just lands out of bounds. The service error from Manfredo makes it 11-6. And so Sperdodo now will serve it once again for St. John Paul II. As that serve from Sperdodo goes long, 12-6 as North Broward gets the point back. Apologize for any technical difficulties tonight. Hope we're still with you here from the prep. The Eagles lead it. Wilson's serve, White's serve cannot be controlled by Sperdodo. It's 13-6. Head coach for St. John Paul II, Mike Cabeza, wants to talk things over. We'll take a timeout along with him on Brainwash Sports, Twitch TV. And we are back here on Brainwash Sports Twitch TV. North Broward Prep and St. John Paul II. Both teams, the Eagles, so that doesn't create any confusion at all. Caitlin White, the libero now for North Broward. She's going to serve it as her team has a 7-point advantage. Controlled by McNamara. Now set up by Bialakis. Now it's Donahue who gets up and over. But now Taylor Lambert on the right-hand side. She sends it long for North Broward. Appealing for the tip, and they get it! North Broward Prep will be awarded the point. Taylor Lambert signaled right off to the referee that she thought it was tipped, and that's why it went long. And the decision goes North Broward's way, 14-6, and it will be White to serve it again. Controlled by Sperdoto. And now it can't be controlled by Daniela Hoganson, as Sperdoto's dig went off to the right-hand side, and St. John Paul II couldn't keep it in play. 15-6, North Broward. White will serve it again. A White serve controlled once again by Sperdoto. Sends her to the ground, but she's able to control it. Now Bialakis sends it up and over for the Eagles, St. John Paul. Now Estevez setting up for Lambert, but controlled by St. John Paul once again. St. John Paul is a little bit of trouble with it. They just get it over. Now Estevez setting it for Mendez. She gets it over for North Broward, but now St. John Paul II again. Dug out well, though, by Estevez. Sent her off to the back foot, but she controlled it. Lambert will just have to get it over with both arms. She does. Sperdoto now sending it up far side for Bialakis. She didn't get all of that one, though. Now Estevez with it for Lambert for North Broward, but Sperdoto is there to answer the call once again for St. John Paul. Now Ferrer for St. John Paul, and she gets the point as she caught North Broward's defense open on the right-hand side. So after the long rally, it ended up becoming a St. John Paul II point. It's 15-7 now. Once again, the race is on to 25. First to 25 wins you the set. As North Broward has a little bit of trouble with it, Johanna Manfredo was unable to control the serve. 15-8 as St. John Paul gets another one back. Alyssa Medser, and another problem with it for North Broward as it's another service ace. 15-9, the Eagles lead it. North Broward leads it over St. John Paul II. Alicia Metzger, the freshman, only freshman on this team, hits it into the net, but it takes the St. John Paul II bounce up and over the other side of the net. And after the little bit of run from St. John Paul II, Austin Club wants to take a timeout. We'll take one too on Brainwash Sports Twitch TV. Welcome back to North Broward Prep Brainwash Sports Twitch TV. Ben Curtis here with you. North Broward Prep Eagles, St. John Paul II Eagles. Last time these guys met over at St. John Paul II in Boca. The Eagles of St. John Paul, the host Eagles, swept North Broward. As the ball's in play now, Jillian Gaeta, but St. John Paul II keeps it alive. Now over to Donahue, and she gets the kill. Erin Donahue, for much of the season, the secondary support to Graham McNamara. So it's been Donahue who's been scoring the points for St. John Paul II, early on. As I mentioned earlier, St. John Paul II swept North Broward earlier this season, 25-23, 25-20, 25-9. As Caitlin White is able to control that. Now Lambert sets it up for Jillian Gaeta. She's just able to get over with both arms. Now Metzger has the problems with it. She can't control it for St. John Paul. And it's a North Broward point, 16-11, as the scoring streak for SJP2 stops. Taylor Lambert now to serve it for the Eagles of North Broward. Lambert's serve goes into the net, but drops up and over. It's another North Broward point, as the net has evened things out here from North Broward and St. John Paul. One serve